Welcome back to the Man United stream, hope you're doing well, and today it's all about Jim Ratcliffe and this crazy interview he gave to Bloomberg TV. What did he say? We're going to be discussing that. We're going to be having an actual quick look at the interview and taking snippets of what he said. Now, the number one takeaway from this interview is what Jim Ratcliffe thinks about Man United, what they've been doing in the past, and how he feels that it needs to be corrected. It was an actually really intense, interesting interview, and lots of Man United fans have been liking what they heard from Jim Ratcliffe. Now, the number one thing I thought that was very interesting from Jim Ratcliffe is what he thought about the net spend of Man United since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Now, Jim Ratcliffe said that the net spend since the departure of Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill is £1.1 billion. Can you believe that? Since Sir Alex Ferguson left, United have spent £1.1 billion on players. What have they got to show for this? Nothing. We've had zero success. By spending £1.1 billion, we've brought nothing to the table. We've not won a Premier League since then. We've barely managed to get into Europe. It's been horrendous. He then compared it to Real Madrid in that same time period, and Real Madrid have spent over 200 million, and today they have 7 players worth over 100 million. United have nothing, he said, and they have made the new Bernabeu Stadium as well, the crazy beautiful Bernabeu Stadium with the closing roof on it as well. Amazing stadium. They've got so much to show for it, and yet they've only spent 200 million. 200 million compared to 1.1 billion pounds. United have been wasteful, and that is putting it lightly. We have thrown around our money completely recklessly, and who's to blame for that? There's only one party to blame for that, and that is the Glazers. The Glazers have run a complete muck of this club. They didn't care what was being spent. They've had their eye off the ball. As long as they were getting their pie, their share of the pie, they didn't care what was going on the field, who was spending on what. So they were literally appeasing the fans, making sure the fans don't turn around and start rioting about the Glazers. So what they were doing was just bringing in these marquee signings who were useless. Di Maria, all these players that they were bringing in, Sanchez, and what for? Just to appease the fans. There was no long-term project. There was no long-term goal. There was nothing in the pipeline as to what's going to be happening in the future. Why are we buying these players? What are we going to do? Are they actually bringing us success? Will they be worth selling later on? In fact, since Sir Alex Ferguson's departure, we've bought huge players in with huge fees and then sold them for less than half of what we paid for them. Ridiculous. There's not even been one player that we've made a huge profit on, and that tells you everything about the recruitment policy at United. And that's why Sir Jim Ratcliffe knows exactly what he's doing, and he's coming in and he wants to clear out all the people behind the scenes who've been making these ridiculous decisions on transfers, on recruitment, because they've not been doing their job right. So this interview was very good. I hope that Jim Ratcliffe can actually implement what he's saying, and if he does even half of what he's saying, we would be on the tracks to recover from this dismal position. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you subscribe. You're watching the Man United stream channel by the fans for the fans.